Hello, everybody. It is raining and wet outside. I've had a headache since yesterday morning. Let's chat about it. Oh, goodness. Hi, everybody. I have just letting y'all know, I have absolutely zero energy today. So if you're looking for uplifting and energetic, I'm going to fail miserably today. Hi, everybody. Do you ever just want to go back to bed, I think? Hi, everybody. I want to start out today by just saying a huge thank you to my moderators today. Vicky and Mimsy, thank you so much for keeping an eye on the chat. I have a few little things we can talk about today. Not a whole lot. Y'all, I have been busy. Do you ever not feel good, but you still have lots to do? That's been me the last 2 days. Hi, everybody. It's so great to see you. Hazel, I'm glad you got some new medicines. I'm hoping that they kick in and you start feeling better. You have not felt well for quite some time, and I just hope you just start feeling so good. Vicky, you just woke up. I feel like going back to bed. That's what I feel like doing. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I have a few things to share with you this week. Not a whole bunch. To be really honest, I put it all together at the last minute because I just wasn't sure. Like, usually I post a thumbnail for the live on Thursday. And yesterday I was like, I don't know that I want to make that commitment. The way I was feeling, I was like, I just don't know if I'm going to feel, good enough to do a live today. But I do. So here we are. I feel better than I did yesterday. So that's good news. Linda said, wish it would rain here. She's in Texas. I'm going to tell you what, we have had so much rain. So much rain, so much rain. And I just feel like it is zapping, like what energy I do have, it is just zapping it away. If it's not raining, it looks like it's going to rain. Regina says she's in North Georgia and it's a beautiful day. I'm so glad, Regina. Send some our way, okay? What have I done this week? Let's see. What's today? The 23rd. Today was the last day for me to input all of my information for my business taxes. So I got that done this week. That was a lot to do. That was like a full-time job just getting all that stuff together for my business taxes. Oh, I worked some more on my memory quilt. I think I shared the layout, my plan for that last week. I'm making really good progress. Not as fast as I wanted to, but I think Sunday I'm going to knock a whole bunch of that out and be really close to having the top done Sunday. So I did make some really good progress on that. Trinita's getting a new pair of glasses today. I need new glasses, Trinita. Where did you go to get yours? I was thinking about that night before last. As we were driving home, I wasn't driving, but Harlan was. I don't like driving at night, for one thing. And it's been 4 or 5 years since I got my glasses, and I can tell that my eyes have changed. And I'd really like a pair of glasses that don't have glare. See that? Isn't that annoying? Do you see that? I'd really like a pair of glasses. Do they even make them that don't show a glare on them like that? Mine are bifocals. AJ, AirPop P52 says, I'm new to your channel. I first came to your channel and I saw your bread making video and I thought you did a great job. It made me want to make bread. I'm so glad you're here. Just letting you know that that video is sort of out of my genre here on YouTube, but I'm so glad you're here. Predominantly, I'm like a quilter. But so many people, I was posting pictures of my bread on Facebook, and so many people asked for that recipe and asked me to do a video. So I did. I'm so glad you found it. I hope you make some bread. Speaking of that, did y'all see my pecan sticky bun video? Do you want to see the thumbnail? Look how good these look. Pecan sticky buns. They're made using the same exact bread dough from the bread dough recipe. Same exact dough. Have you tried these yet? Ah, Feathered Sunset says, yes, they have glasses where you can put a film on there for anti-glare. I'm going to ask them about it because that is just so annoying to me. Sheila said, let me know if you want to go to Costco. We have Sam's Club. Does Sam's Club have a eyeglasses place in it? I don't know. I'm going to look into that. Ah, the non-glare scratches easily, though. I'm really hard on my glasses, but I think like I could be disciplined enough to be extra careful with them. If I had, if that was on there, I think I could be disciplined. Carolyn has 2 loaves in the oven right now. Ooh, I bet your house smells so good. If you haven't seen this video yet, y'all go check it out. And let me just tell you, while we're on that subject, before I released the pecan sticky buns, up to pop a comment on my bread video, and somebody said I was too lazy, said I was lazy because I didn't give a printout, a written printout of the recipe. Well, one thing for sure is I don't consider myself lazy. So if you want a printout of the recipe of that bread video, y'all, go back to that video. I added one because nobody's going to call me lazy. I might not have any energy, but I'm not lazy. That's one thing I'm not. So if you want a printout, it looks like this. I added that to the description box of the bread making video. And I also put one in the pecan sticky bun video because nobody's going to call me lazy. Susan, you have some baking too? Did I see that Jeannie is here? How are you doing, Jeannie? Sheila, you got yours from Costco and you have the anti-glare coating on them and don't have a problem. That's awesome. I was wondering about the anti-glare. Like when we're riding at night and you look at lights and the glasses make them do funny things. Is that what the anti-glare takes care of? Or is it this problem? See my glasses? Y'all see the lights on them? Or does it fix that? Regina said, you don't have a lazy bone. And obviously that person doesn't know me very well, Regina. That was rude, right, Lisa? Laurel says, you are not lazy. I know. They obviously don't know me very well. So yeah, check out the pecan sticky bun video if you haven't already. And make sure to grab your printable recipe. Oh, Jeannie, you are here. I'm so glad you made out good with your eye surgery. Hopefully you can see me so good today, right? What else? Okay, so the pecan rolls. On that note, guess what I did yesterday? Mimsy said something about it a second ago. I made noodles for the very first time yesterday in my entire life. Next week I'm going to be 50. I made homemade noodles for the very first time. Do you want to see them? Now, I'm going to put this picture up there. They don't look like much. They're egg noodles. And let me just tell you, after supper last night, once you go fresh egg noodles, it'll be so hard to go back to store-bought pasta out of a box. I'm going to tell you, it was the best thing ever. And it really wasn't that hard to do. So this weekend, since I'm so lazy, I'm going to make some bow tie pastas for some shrimp, Alfredo, and bow tie pasta on Sunday. Oh no, I can't do that Sunday because we have the quilt retreat. Monday then. I'll make it Monday. Y'all, these noodles were so good. And I looked up about 1,000 different recipes and everybody did theirs slightly different. And we've been looking for ways to use up all of our eggs because we get so many eggs now. And I was like, you know what? We could use eggs to make egg noodles. So I tried it yesterday. And they were so good. Donna, yeah, I have the door open because I think it's more interesting than the curtain. As long as the bird behaves. I gave him a box and I covered the front of his cage. So as long as he behaves, I can leave this door open. I might have to get up and close it. We'll see, but it's more interesting to look at than the curtain. Thank you, Crystal. Lisa loves making noodles and breads. Lisa, I'm going to tell you, I loved these noodles. I loved them so much. I'm going to take them off the screen now. Laura remembers when her grandma used to make them and drying them out on the kitchen table. That's what I think I'm going to do. Like tonight, I might make them and then let them sit and dry out so they keep their little bow tie shape. And then I forgot the quilt retreat was Sunday, so I'll use them for dinner on Monday. Make a video on the noodles. I might do that, Mimsy. Now see, that was the first time I ever did it. So it was quite the experiment for me. And what I realized watching a whole bunch of videos and tutorials on making noodles is it's kind of like the bread, right? I am not a master noodle maker. But I think I am going to make a video after I do it a couple times with just a pre-note of, you know, and Harlan and I were talking about this morning. You don't have to have a culinary degree to make from scratch, right? And have it taste delicious. And even though it can be a science and very complicated, it really just doesn't have to be. And if you and your family love what you make, isn't that the point? Do I feed my eggshells back to the chickens? Sometimes we do, but mostly we're putting them in our compost. Speaking of chickens, do y'all want to see what we're doing? Homemade ravioli, Jackie. That's a good idea. Hey, I don't have a pasta making machine. I do have a KitchenAid, and my birthday is coming up next week. So, but yesterday, so I just rolled the dough out and I got it as thin as possible. I divided it into 4 sections. I know you have a bread master friend. But so I divided the dough into 4 sections after letting it rest, right? And then I just rolled it out as thin as I could possibly get it. I would like it thinner, but y'all, I am just now getting to the point of my shoulder being okay. Like it still hurts a little bit, but not as much as it has. And it's been like 2.5 months, maybe 3 since I hurt my shoulder. That was a lot of rolling to get it as thin as I did, but I would like it thinner. So I asked for the attachments for pasta for the KitchenAid for my birthday. Yeah. Jackie freezes her noodles. Ooh. I'm thinking, the eggshells ground for given to dogs for calcium. That's a good idea. Y'all are always just flooded with so much good information. So let me ask you this, and I'll probably have to come back on the replay and read the live chat because I miss a lot. But so, and I couldn't find a lot of information and I need to look more into it. But you roll out the egg noodles, right? And you cut up your pasta and you let it dry like on the countertop. It's then shelf stable, correct? Am I wrong? Like you can freeze it, right? But you can also store it on the shelf. Like that's my main goal. Sheila said, "What are you doing for your birthday?" Um, I'm going to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival. That's after my birthday, though. Y'all, if y'all are in the area or looking to come down to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival, I'm going on Thursday. And if you're walking around and you see me, please come up and say hello. But if you're really looking for me, you can find me in the lunchroom upstairs at 12 o'clock. They have big tables. Come and have lunch with us, okay? It would be great to meet you. Ah, okay, Crystal, thank you. It's not shelf stable unless it's dehydrated. Otherwise, it could mold. All right, dehydrated. I'm going to look into that. Thank you so much. Because that's my goal, right? We are getting lots and lots of egg. Well, I say lots, between 6 and 8 eggs a day. And that builds up really quick, right? I mean, we share the eggs, but that's a lot of eggs every day. And we're looking for ways to use them. We've already freeze dried eggs. And so it would be nice to like make our own pasta and be able to just store it on the shelf. Jackie, that's funny. Jackie's daughter went to a very good culinary school and was working in Lake Tahoe. And one day she called and asked how to cook beans. Moms and grandmas and aunties, they know all the best ways of doing anything, don't they? You can dehydrate them in the oven, air fryer, or actual dehydrator. That's good to know because I have an air fryer and an oven. Okay, I'm going to look more into that. Thank you so much. Designs by Christina said, I boil and pickle eggs. We boil some eggs here and there. I love making egg salad. Harlan loves pickled eggs. We have not done that yet, but I do want to do that because he loves them. Speaking of eggs, do y'all want to see something? We have egg babies. We have little egg babies. We have 18 eggs in the incubator as we speak. So far, on all of them, we can see something moving. They have little veins and they just started, like if you're looking, you can see some movement. We have egg hatching day is going to be March the 9th, 10th, and 11th because Harlan watched the girls so closely, and as they would lay, he would get it right out and put it right straight into the incubator. So instead of them all being on the same day, this was a period of 3 days that he collected eggs for the incubator. So we have March 9th, 10th, and 11th are due dates. Mimsy said, "What are you going to do with all those chickens? We're going to love them." And this part might be sensitive for some people. But eventually we do want to get to a point where we have chickens for eating. Mary, I think it's 20 or 21 days to hatch. Ah, quilt maker. Ah, Brenda, you went to QuiltCon yesterday. That's awesome. Oh, I didn't finish reading. The vendors and quilts are great. 2 food sources and no tables or chairs. Will not go back ever. Well, okay, I'm so glad I didn't go though. Then I was starting to feel like I missed out on something. But food is very important to me. I love the quilts. But Lisa's got to eat. Do you have a farmer's market? We do, starting in March. Every Saturday in our small little town, the main street fills up with tents. And we have local vendors who sell just about everything. Memsy said, then don't name them. I know. Especially, okay, so the chickens we have now came to us in a couple different ways, right? We brought in our first chicken we adopted from next door. And then the babies we got from Tractor Supply. And then we went to a couple chicken meats and we bought 2 chickens that way. And then we went to a chicken farm and we bought 2 chickens that way. Even though we've gotten a majority of our flock as babies and raised them, some of the chickens we got were older when we got them. These will be our first chickens that we've actually hatched from our chickens that we have now. So I feel like there's going to be a special bond. So I don't know. These might just join our flock as permanent chickens. I don't know. I don't know. Sheila said, you basically go to the quilt show here for the buffet. You got me, Sheila. What's better than sharing a meal with friends anyway? Like this year, I don't have a lot of things. Like last year, I got my Scan and Cut SDX 325, right? I knew I was going to get that. I was excited to go to the quilt show for that. The year before that, there was something else I was excited to go and look at getting, right? And that's the way it has been up until this year. And my studio is smaller, y'all, and I just don't have a lot of storage space. And I don't have any like machines or gadgets or tools that I don't have that I feel like I'm missing. So while looking at the vendors is so much fun and I'm an impulse buyer, y'all know that, I don't have anything in mind specifically that I'm looking for this year, except for a couple of fat quarters for a project we're going to do in March. Oh no, the hawks got your babies. I'm sorry. I can look at the chairs. I can. I have a chair, but she's a little cockeyed, right? I feel like I'm always sitting like this. And the height adjust. And throughout the day, I feel myself getting gradually and gradually closer to the floor. And then I lift it back up. And then it just slowly works back down to the floor. I'll look at the chairs. We'll see. Yes, the stained glass cross. Grandma D, I just subscribed to your channel yesterday. Just letting you know, I responded to you on Instagram. And I am so sorry that I just saw your message yesterday. You sent that a couple weeks ago, I think. I hardly go on Instagram. But I did see it yesterday, so I went and I subscribed to your channel and looked through your videos. You're doing so good. Y'all, if you haven't checked out Grandma D's YouTube channel, go check her out. Cindy said it's hard to go to a quilt show and not buy a lot of stuff. That's the truth. That's the truth. But if you're on Facebook, you might have seen the project I have lined up for March. I have an Easter trivet lined up. I haven't shared pictures of that yet. It's going to be a surprise. That's very functional, geared towards Easter and Easter bunnies, right? But with Easter in March this year, I came across, I didn't say I came across, this picture is on my desk in my dining room there. And I see it every day. This is a painting I did a long time ago. And I did one like this for my brother and his wife when they got married, and it has their name and the date that they got married on it, right? We're making that into a quilt. Do you want to see? Laurel, we did not wash the eggs first. They just went from the nesting box straight into the incubator. I don't know if you were supposed to or not. I don't know, but that's what we did. And we have movement in each one. Okay, the cross quilt. Here we go. Isn't that so pretty? It was inspired by the painting I did 2010. That's when I did the painting. How many years ago was that? 14? 14 years ago. Isn't that going to be so much fun? So originally, I wanted to make this the size. Originally, I drew it out, and I showed y'all over on Patreon. Y'all will recognize it because I showed it in different colors. Originally, I wanted it to hang up with suction cups on my storm door on the front door for Easter. Now, I can do that because the sun never shines directly on the front of our house. It goes over our house in a different direction. But I didn't want people who have a door that faces the sun all day to make a quilt and hang it there and then it fade quickly because of the sun just going to cook their quilt. So I changed my mind. And this one's going to be considerably smaller and scan and cut friendly or Cricut friendly because the pieces are smaller, and all of those pieces will fit on a standard 12 by 12 inch cutting mat. And this project is going to measure 15 inches by 20 inches. And plus, the larger version, I got to thinking about it, and I just don't have the time to do a larger project anyway. So this I could knock out. Plus, it's fat quarter friendly. So at the quilt show, I'm going to be looking for some fat quarters to do this project with you in March. Don't wash the eggs. Don't disturb the eggs. Very little before you put them in there. Good. We did good then. We read the instructions, and Harlan gathered the eggs, so I know that whatever the instructions said, that's what he did. And I do love looking at the quilts too, just walking around and getting inspired by all the work. Y'all, there's some phenomenal quilting artisans out there. So I do like taking time. I mean, the vendors, I love walking through the vendors, but I do enjoy walking through the quilts too. So yeah, that's what we're going to be making in March, preferably towards the beginning of March, so that you have time to make this for Easter, right? Y'all, this is all raw edge applique in simple shapes to cut even by hand. So, and since I shrunk the size of it, this should be a fairly easy project to make. Donna said, is there a way you could give the large size if you want to make a wall hanging? Um, you know what I'm going to say, Donna? When you're printing out the pattern, enlarge your print settings. That's what I would do. Just know that if you had a cutting machine, if you do that, a few of the pieces, like if you have a scan and cut, okay, and you want to scan the pages and cut fabric that way, a lot of the pieces on this, if you make this project much bigger than what I'm offering it as, a lot of those pieces won't fit on a standard 12 by 12 inch mat. If you have the 12 by 24 inch mat, they would fit. But I wanted to offer cutting files with this project too. So having it at this size was perfect for that. At the big size, I was not going to offer a cutting file because a lot of people don't have the 12 by 24 inch mat. Sheila, you've done applique? Do you want to know? This is horrible. Hold on a second. I was so dang excited last year. I was all getting into, let me take this picture down, wool applique, and then we decided to move right after the quilt show. Right, here's my applique thread. I have not used it. I think I was with you when I bought this. Here's my quick applique needles. Never opened. Uh, Here's my expensive Appliquick scissors still in the box. Isn't that horrible? I have not used this. These scissors were not cheap, let me tell you. The price isn't on here anymore. They were not cheap. They're wonderful scissors. They got, well, we moved, for one thing. I mean, getting back to a sense of normalcy has been a chore all in its own this year, right? I absolutely want to use these things, but I haven't yet. What else? Oh, and then, okay, well, this was from the quilt show. And then I had this bright idea. Let me get some Clover 1/4-inch tape and a 1/4-inch bias tape maker, and let me make a project with that. Still in the packages. I need to use this stuff. So I was with you. I think you and I enable each other when we walk around the quilt show. This year, I might walk around by myself, Sheila. I love you, but I might walk around by myself. You might save money and I might save money if I do that. Donna does her wool applique on trips. I'm going to tell you, I love the wool applique. I just find myself, there's not enough hours in my day. Do you know what I'm saying? To do all the stuff that I want to do. There just isn't. I'm kidding, Sheila. I would be glad to walk around with you Thursday if you're there. I'm just going to be more thoughtful about my purchases this year. Grandma D says, I have your All the Things project from 2020, I think. It's still a work in progress. That's awesome. I have my quilt, the little mini one, in the bin. I should break that out. I don't have a lot of places to hang it. That's my problem. And then all the bigger blocks during that season or that series, I ended up giving a whole bunch of them to Harlan's aunt when she came to visit. And then I gave some away on Patreon when we played bingo. And I only have a couple more left of those. Trinita, March the 8th. That's when we're starting. The day before our first due date with our chicken babies. March the 8th is the day we're starting the mystery quilt. Rita said, that's no fun walking by yourself. Yes and no, Rita. I tend to be a little bit of a loner anyway. So I've always been okay to do things by myself. But it is more fun with friends. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've always been okay just doing things by myself. Robin, you ordered your fabric today. Yay! Uh, if you're on Facebook, look, there goes one of my kitties. If you're on Facebook, are you a member of the creative crew? Everyone's been sharing pictures of their fabrics for the mystery quilt. So if you want to change your colors, which I totally get, not everybody wants to use the same colors I'm using, but you need inspiration. Check out the creative crew because everybody's been sharing their colors. Crystal said, ever notice that most quilters are loners? I had never thought about it. What else? If you're on Patreon, I wanted to make sure to tell you we're doing our quilt retreat this Sunday. I'm trying to think of the time. Hold on a second. I have my little calendar here. 12 to 9. I plan on knocking out a good portion of this memory quilt that I'm working on. 12 to 9. That's a good stretch of time to work on a quilt. I have all the pictures printed. And yeah, I should make really good progress Sunday. Y'all just saw the kitty that no one ever sees. Did you see her? No one ever, she doesn't know she's being on a live on YouTube, evidently. No one who visits ever sees her. Well, no, I take that back. We did have Harlan's sister and her husband came weekend before last, and they caught a glimpse of her here and there. And it seems that the longer we have her, the more comfortable she's getting. But she is like 2 strands away from being feral. She's not with us, but she was a feral kitty that someone had caught and brought to the Humane Society, and we adopted her. She's very good. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. No one ever sees her. There she is. She does exist. Yeah. I just saw her. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description box. And I post the link to join the quilt retreat right on that Patreon page. So the same link that you click to join Patreon, you can go to any of my videos and click on that link and it brings you to my page. Crystal, you have 3 cats too? She's the only one who is like that. We have one who will sit with anybody. Total stranger. Someone coming to the house for the first time, he's your best friend. And then we have one who is just like a diva. She doesn't really like anybody to hold her. But she doesn't mind being around people. You know what I'm saying? And then we have Wild Child that you just saw. Tammy said, what the heck is Patreon? Patreon's a platform I started a couple years ago. When I first started doing lives here on YouTube, really on a consistent level, right, was towards the beginning of COVID. And here on YouTube, during a live, I've turned it off, but there's an option where you can donate money during a live, right? Super chats and all this other stuff. They might have even changed it. They might not even call it super chats anymore. I don't know. And anyway, I wanted a place where people who, if they wanted to support me as an artist, as a content creator, they'd have a way to support me, but then I gave them something back for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I turned off the super chats here on YouTube and I started a Patreon. So what it is, and it's different for every person who has a Patreon, you can offer all kinds of different things. So my Patreon's like in the beginning of the video during a live, you see all the credit, I list your name as a Patreon, right? As a supporter financially of my channel. You get a free pattern each month. We do some kind of big event like a quilt retreat. And then I do something else. And my Patreon has changed over the period of time. I used to have 4 different tiers you could join in at. Now I just have one and it's simple, right? Sometimes we do a workshop or a class. This month, like last Friday, we did a little mini retreat. So we just hung out last Friday night and that was a lot of fun. We didn't really do anything. I didn't even sew anything. We just hung out. I think Vicky was working on her quilt. We all watched Vicky work on a quilt. So it's all kinds of different things. And I like to switch it up here and there and just to keep it interesting, right? But in a nutshell, that's what Patreon is. Are you doing an online retreat? Yep, that's what we're doing Sunday. Which is nice because we don't have to get dressed up. We don't have to pack up all of our stuff and bring it somewhere. Although, let me just tell you, I have considered, and I've talked about it. Matter of fact, when we were looking at houses, there was one house in particular that could have worked as an in-person retreat location. We decided against it. But I have considered doing an in-person quilt retreat. And here in my area, we have a couple of different bed and breakfasts. I've thought about it. I'm still thinking about it. Like, doesn't that sound fun? Grandma D said, how do you get moderators for your lives? They just volunteered. And when they did, I went over there and clicked on them and I hit make into a moderator. That's how I did it. Am I on Central Time? I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So the same time it is in New York, I'm in the same time. In Florida, I'm in the same time with them. I am in Virginia. Matthews, Virginia. Melissa, you have 5 acres in Florida and you've thought about that too. I'm going to tell you, there was a house in Jamestown, Virginia, when we first started looking, that went on the market, and it had a house for me in Harlan. It had a full basement that was its own little house. Basically, it had a full kitchen, a bedroom, a living room, full bathroom for my parents. They could have walked out onto, in Jamestown, it's kind of hilly, right? So they wouldn't have had any stairs to deal with because they could have walked right out onto ground level and we would have been upstairs, although there she is again, y'all. She's a superstar. It was on sort of on a hill. So we were on ground level, but yet the basement on the back side was ground level, if that makes any sense for my parents. So that would have worked. It had two separate other buildings. One was like an apartment building, and it had 5 different units in it. Now, they were like efficiency kitchens in each one of the units. And then there was another little tiny house, a 1-bedroom little house that I could have used as my studio. And then it had a barn for horses. It was a little bit out of our price range. And we talked to our bank guy, and we were like, if we were going to do this as part of our business, how feasible would it be? And then the more and more I thought about it, I was like, I just don't know. Like, that's a real big commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we buy that, then I have to do that. That's what I have to do, is have in-person quilt retreats all the time. Do I want to do that? Not really. Maybe one retreat a year or something, not continuously to justify that property. So we considered it for like 2.5 weeks. And then something was just telling me, don't do it, Lisa. I kind of want to slow down a little bit anyway. And that would have just been really overcommitting, I think. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I just want to make sure I went through all my little show and tells, the egg babies, the noodles, the cross quilt, the pecan rolls. Yeah, I don't even want to think about the insurance would be on something like that. Oh, I'm glad we didn't do that. That is so true. I am looking forward to slowing down. It was exciting to think about, wow, she is walking along that beam up there. Oh, nope, she just jumped down. She's looking to get in trouble. That's what that cat is doing. Darlene said, aren't we starting the mystery quilt next Friday? What is next Friday's date? No, that's the 1st, Darlene. We're starting the week after that on the 8th. I still have a little bit of a lingering headache. We're going to start on the 8th. All right, everybody. You know what? I think I'm going to go have some lunch. I have a meeting with Chrissy. Chrissy, if you're here, I have all your questions printed out. I look forward to meeting with you. Yeah, we're going to learn about Inkscape and doing some different things. The cat's name, her name is Evie. Linda, that's true. She said some don't do Patreon because of the commitment of having to produce something on a regular schedule. It is a commitment. And that was something I had to consider too, right? I don't know. I would just, I did the super chats and all that for a little while, and I was so thankful. And let me just tell you, because like I wear my feelings on my sleeve, right? Every time someone would send me a super chat, I felt like crying. And I just can't do that every time I'm live. And So I disabled the super chat thing, and then people were sending me messages. I really want to do, how can I do this? You know, how can I support your channel? First of all, if you just like and subscribe, if you like the video, if you share the video somewhere like on Facebook, do you know how much that helps a channel? That helps so much, and you don't have to join Patreon or super chat or sticker anybody, right? You don't have to do that to support your favorite content creators. You can hit the like button, you can subscribe to their channel, and you can share their video on your favorite platforms, right? That helps a channel a lot. Let me just tell you as we're closing today, because I don't know what people's thoughts are about people who have YouTube channels. I think sometimes people think the bigger your channel, the more money you make on YouTube. And let me just tell you, that is so far from how accurate it is. Okay, and that's something I had to learn, right? You could have 500,000 subscribers and make very little money on YouTube. It all depends on how often you're posting, how many people are watching your videos. It depends on the people who are purchasing the ads on your videos. Like the bread making video, that is doing so good. That is doing better than any of my quilting videos. And because it's doing so good, YouTube is pushing it out to more people, and people are paying more to put an ad on that video. My bread making video is paying me more money than any YouTube video I have on sewing or quilting. But just because you have a big YouTube channel doesn't mean you make more money. So those who take the time to make a YouTube channel and make videos for you, that time is valuable. If you share their video and like their video, that helps them out so much. Cindy, I do. And that's actually recent. Like this is just like a week or two old, so it's pretty new on my channel. Look up Lisa Capen Hearts and Flowers. It should pop right up on YouTube. Yeah, and then buying patterns and things like that, that helps a lot too. Y'all, I so appreciate everybody who supports me as an artist, as a content creator here on YouTube and my Etsy store. Like, do you know how grateful I am? Like, every day I'm just like, thank you, Lord, for this life. Like, I'm just so, so thankful. Dawn, oh no, I'm getting ready to go. You'll have to come back on the replay. I shared some really fun stuff. Not a lot of fun stuff. A couple of fun things. Do you want to know my highest paid video here on YouTube has been my countertop video? Like, I think it would be surprising if I told you how much I made on that video. None of my sewing videos, and I don't like to talk down, like I believe there's power in words, but the people who pay for ads on quilting and sewing videos are not the same people who pay for ads on home improvement stuff. They're just not. And there for a while, it's not doing nearly as good as it has done in the past, but there for a while, that video was doing really good. And I was like, yes! But let me just tell you, that doesn't last forever. It doesn't. I rode the countertop wave revenue as long as I could. And that actually stopped about 2 years ago. I don't hardly make nearly as much on that video as I did, but that video was doing good. And I almost considered going into the home improvement world. Could you imagine? That video did really, really good. My bread making video is doing good too. But y'all, I'm a quilter by heart. I'm not changing. You might see a video here and there pop up of some pecan sticky buns or some egg noodles. I might even video when our little egg babies hatch, because I like sharing that stuff with you. But predominantly, this is what I do. Mary says, you were brave to take on that countertop. That was so much fun. All right, everybody. It's still raining. I don't know if it's supposed to rain all weekend. I'm going to try to find some motivation to work a little bit on this quilt this afternoon. And Chrissy, if you're here, I'm going to go eat some lunch real quick, and then I'll send you a message so we can meet up this afternoon. I hope everybody who's not feeling well, I hope you feel better. And yeah, you want to see the babies hatch? That would be awesome. Tammy, I don't have a Cricut. Unfortunately, I don't have a Cricut. I'm a scan and cut girl. There are lots and lots and lots of really great video content creators here who specialize in the Cricuts. And I know you will find plenty of help for the Cricut here on YouTube. Cheryl, if you're on Facebook, send me a message. If you don't do Facebook, send me a message on Etsy. There's a link to my Etsy shop down in the description box. You can just send me a message there. And I do have a couple of things going on after the live, but if you send me a message, I'm really pretty quick about getting to it, because Etsy, if you want to keep your Star Seller badge, you have to respond to messages relatively quickly over there. So they ding on my phone. But I do have a couple of things going on this afternoon. But send me a message if you have questions, and I will try to help the best I can. Okay? All right, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope it's sunny for you. And I will see y'all next Friday for this kind of video. And that will be after the quilt show. So for anybody who is joining me there, I can't wait to see you Thursday. That should be fun. All right. Bye, everybody. Can you believe how Poppy was good today? He has been so good, I've had the door open the whole time. Maureen, if you're watching, Poppy's being good today. Bye, everybody.